Now at 11, remembering Ruth Bader Ginsburg. America mourns the loss of a powerhouse justice while preparing for a political fight over the future of the United States Supreme Court. Thanks for joining us at 11 tonight. I'm Stephen Holt. A lifelong champion of women's rights and a fierce advocate for gender equality, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died today surrounded by her family at home in Washington, D.C. She was 87 years old. Her passing follows numerous health scares, including recent hospitalizations and 5 battles with cancer. Tonight, mourners gathered outside of the United States Supreme Court, where Ginsburg served for more than a quarter century as a reliable anchor to the court's liberal wing. Now, all across the nation's capital tonight, flags are flying at half-staff, a tribute to a trailblazer who spent her life in service. Standing just about 5 feet tall, she was a giant in the nation's highest court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg remembered for her sharp wit and being a tireless champion for women's rights.
Over the course of now over 2 centuries, it has grown and developed so that more and more people are included in that concept, we the people.
Ginsburg was born in Brooklyn in 1933. She tied for first in her class at Columbia Law, but despite her stellar record, she was rejected for a Supreme Court clerkship because she was a woman. Her legal career took off as a law professor and pioneering advocate for women's legal rights, successfully arguing several cases before the Supreme Court that made it easier to sue for sex discrimination. In 1980, President Jimmy Carter appointed her to become a federal judge. And then in 1993, President Clinton made her the second female justice to sit on the Supreme Court.
It contributes to the end of the days when women, at least half the talent pool in our society, appear in high places only as one-at-a-time performers.
She became the most senior member of the court's liberal wing, making key votes upholding abortion rights, same-sex marriage, and immigration law. She wrote the court's opinion putting an end to the men-only policy at the Virginia Military Institute, and she joined the court's majorities in striking down the death penalty for juveniles.
We welcome today Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But it was her rock star status as a feminist icon that earned her the nickname Notorious RBG. Her story also featured in a documentary.
I am 84 years old and everyone wants to take a picture with me.
But her toughest battles were outside of the courtroom, multiple bouts with cancer. Her most recent recurrence noticed earlier this year, leading to more treatments and more stays in the hospital. The Supreme Court says she died at her home surrounded by family. Chief Justice John Roberts writing, "Our nation has lost a jurist of historic stature," calling Ginsburg a tireless and resolute champion of justice. Justice Ginsburg's death has sent shockwaves all across the country, from our nation's capital to the community where her legacy began. News 4's Adam Harding continues our team coverage tonight from Brooklyn, where she was born and raised, and Adam is now being remembered tonight.
And Stephen, Brooklyn was home to Justice Ginsburg. Tonight, New York and the nation now mourning this sudden loss. This is the Brooklyn home where Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg once lived, a neighborhood forever transformed. Tonight, her native New York is remembering the late Supreme Court icon.
She was a great visionary for women's rights and a reminder that, I don't know, people say liberal, but I think it's just really what those values are, just human rights.
The president wrapping up a campaign rally in Minnesota, only learning of her passing when speaking with reporters.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that.
We learned of the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was not only a giant in the legal profession, but a beloved figure. And my heart goes out to all those who cared for her and care about her.
As Washington debates what to do with the now vacant seat on the Supreme Court, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker pausing to remember the late justice who served on the bench for 27 years.
I don't care what your political background is. This was a lifetime servant to the ideals of this country, and we should stay here for a moment and take our time to honor and respect and revere a great American.
Senator Chuck Schumer online writing, "Tonight we mourn the passing of a giant in American history, a champion for justice, a trailblazer for women." Governor Cuomo adding, "During her extraordinary career, this Brooklyn native broke barriers, and the letters RBG took on new meaning as battle cry and inspiration."
I think that her passing will probably be a wake-up call for the country, that we need to really embrace people like that.
And tonight, tributes pouring in for Justice Ginsburg from both sides of the aisle. This from the former President George Bush. He writes that she dedicated many of her 87 remarkable years to the pursuit of justice and equality, and she inspired more than one generation of women and girls. So many tonight stunned by her passing. We're live in Brooklyn. I'm Adam Harding, News 4 New York.
A stunned nation tonight, Adam. Thank you very much. As you just heard, President Trump learned of Ginsburg's passing after his campaign rally. During the rally, as he was actually speaking about nominating Supreme Court justices, someone in the crowd yelled out the news about Ginsburg's death.
The Supreme Court is so important. The next president will get 1, 2, 3, or 4 Supreme Court justices. I had to. Many presidents have had none. They've had none because they're there for a long time. They tend to be appointed young. They're there for a long time.
You might have heard some people shouting there in the crowd. Ginsburg's passing, of course, leaving a vacancy with just 46 days before the presidential election. A political fight now brewing over the future of the Supreme Court's ideology. NPR reporting that in the final days before her death, Ginsburg dictated a statement to her granddaughter saying, "My most fervent wish is that I will not be replaced until a new president is installed." Despite that wish, tonight Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that he will hold a vote on President Trump's nominee to fill that position. The president has not named anyone as of yet. Remember in 2016 that McConnell refused to hold hearings for President Obama's nominee to fill the vacancy after Justice Antonin Scalia died. All right, so will there be a nomination before, maybe after Election Day? Keep it right here with News 4 New York for continuing coverage and more on the life and legacy of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.